What's up, everybody? Circus here, coming at you with a Gaia update video. Been a
What's
couple
up,
of...
guys? Oh,
Excuse
sorry.
me.
Do
Let
over,
me
do over,
finish
do over,
the... No,
do over,
it's
do
not a
over.
do-over. We're just going.
No.
Gaia's been out for a couple days now, and we're seeing how it's performing in our tournaments and things. So I brought PDS in here because he just did Battle Phase Friday. So we had Battle Phase Thursday and Friday now. How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. So you got to see Gaia quite a bit today, right?
Yes,
And
I
what's your
did.
general impression?
So I was watching yesterday. I was really excited to see it in the finals. Actually, I think it's on YouTube, right? The Battle Phase
Yep,
finals.
yep.
It went up against Cyber Dragon, and it did get. It didn't do so hot, but of course, it did make it to the finals. So that was quite promising. And then today, it made it to top 32. Only one deck. I believe 5 entered in total. One deck made it to the top 32, and it lost instantly to Cyber Dragons. So that might be telling of that matchup. But what are the strengths of the deck? What does it do well? So the best card in this deck, of course, is the field spell, the Galloping Gaia. Your opponents cannot activate cards or effects during the battle phase while Gaia, the Dragon Champion, is in your monster zone. So that effect is extremely powerful. You're gonna stop all the hand traps in the game, and of course they can't activate any cards that includes traps, anything like that. So it makes the card extremely powerful. Um, and then of course it has the other effect. If you reveal a Gaia, you add a dragon. If you have a dragon, you reveal the Gaia. So you always have your missing piece
Yep.
to your deck.
Well, I was gonna say
So
it seems super consistent, right? Especially with the skill.
yeah,
Like they can get that
yeah,
turn
it's
one combo
definitely really
off.
consistent.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So the turn one combo is going to be with Gaia the Magical Knight. That special summons the Curse of the Dragonfire. And then the Curse of the Dragonfire, you fusion summon for the Gaia the Magical Knight. A lot of the times you see a lot of people playing it in attack mode and then using its effect. If you're going to be using the effect, you definitely want to be summoning it in defense mode because its attack is going to become 0.
Mm-hmm.
Unless, of course, you have the other Gaia monsters they play, the Soldier Gaia of the Fierce Knight. I'm sorry, no, it is it's
Gaia, the
the
Fierce Knight
Origin
of
one.
Origin.
No,
Yes.
yes, the Origin, yes. So during the battle phase, you banish it from your graveyard, then target one monster in the field whose current attack is different than its original attack, and then it becomes its original attack. So that is the way, and that is during either player's turn. So really nice way of
Mm-hmm.
putting it back up. So
So
is the
what?
fusion monster good, right? So the fusion
Right.
monster is a pop, so that's always good. Some interruption,
Mm-hmm.
and then of course it's pretty consistent at getting it out on the first turn, and that's if you're going first. You're definitely gonna be able to get it out, no interruption whatsoever. If you're going second, though, this is where the deck's kind of weaknesses start to show. Of course, a deck like, I'm just gonna put it out there because it is a really good deck, the Resonator deck.
Mm-hmm.
When you Book of Moon them or you TTH them, they have ways. They have these things called extenders, which are cards that let you keep playing even though you might get interrupted or something gets negated. This deck doesn't really have that. So if your Guy the Magical Knight gets flipped face down, or if it gets chalice, or if I've seen somebody was putting in Shadow Imprisoning Mirror for the Curse of the Dragonfire, you can't really do much about that. So
So it
that
seems
is
like
where what's up?
I was gonna say with this one, you don't really want to try to disrupt them early during their combo play, right? I mean, there's no advantage to it. You can just wait till they get to their final monster and then just take care of that. You know what I mean?
Right, but
If they bring out their pieces aren't really going to affect you a whole lot. So if you could
right.
let them spend all their resources and then just hit that boss monster and be okay.
Yeah, so for this deck, the main thing about if you let them get the boss monster out, it has a quick effect, to destroy a card on the field. So you want to
Hmm.
be careful of that.
But if you go
Um,
first,
a-
set one pass, hey, you're in there, right?
yeah. So obviously they play back removal, so people are like, oh, just
Right.
if you have MST, get rid of the TTH or get rid of the Chalice or whatever,
Hmm.
the Book of Moon. Of course, it's an unsearchable card. You're gonna be relying on 2 to 3 copies of it in your deck. And then the other thing that makes the deck a little bit, on the weaker side is that the fusion monster only pops during the main phase.
Yeah,
So
that makes it a little bit more difficult to use, right?
yes, because if your opponent is smart, they're gonna activate, like a card like Book of Moon or a card like Chalice or a card like Canadia in the standby phase or in the draw phase.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not gonna get a chance to pop their cards. And then of course, that's just some of the weaknesses. Of course, the deck is when it does get going, it is pretty powerful. The guy going up to 52, a lot of decks don't really have an answer to that, especially when they can't activate any cards in the battle phase. It's like, whoa, that's
Right.
pretty good. And then a card I've been seeing, some people like it, some people don't like it. The Spiral Spear Strike.
Mm-hmm.
It's the continuous card, continuous spell.
Yeah,
Basically, it says if you have a Gaia monster, it'll do piercing, and then if it does damage, uh,
you draw 2, discard
with
1.
that kind of effect, yeah, you draw to discard one. So
Yep.
I saw actually some guy, he went ahead and he made the fusion magical knight, and then he did piercing. He drew into the soldier Gaia, and then he tribute over it, and then he was able to OTK his opponent. So it was actually
Nice.
kind of insane. But
Yep.
that kind of card is a little bit bricky. And then of course we're seeing some builds with Necro Fusion without it, Dragon's Mirror without it. So people are still testing out a bunch of cards in this deck.
Well, I
So
think one advantage with the deck is the skill, right? Because if you do draw
yeah,
that Spiral Spear Strike, you can just send it back.
right. That's one of the other things. Right now, a lot of decks have pretty good consistency skills. So, Automats, you got your Demon's Resonance, you got this skill as well, the Dragon Knight's Path. So the skill is really, really good too. I really like the skill. And then I've been seeing people play Dark Flare Knight because you put the Magical Knight
Yeah.
as a
Yep.
light. Yeah, so you've been seeing a lot of different variations of the deck.
Yep.
So
Gives you that extra little push because you're already putting the materials into the grave, and then to summon the Dark Flare, you just banish them, and then you got another body out on the board.
right. So I think at this point, the main core of the deck is definitely like you need one origin, you need your 3 magical knights, your 3 curse, your soldier, and then I think now people are they need to figure out the spells and the traps for the deck.
We
So
did
that
see
is something that
the second place deck played Necro Fusion as a trap, and I thought that was kind of spicy.
yeah, I've been seeing Dragon's Mirror as well. People have
Mhm.
been trying that out. And then of course you have the Spiral Spear Strike that people are choosing to not play or to play, and then also they have the Gateway to Chaos, which I've seen people not play, but then also people play 2 or 3
I've
copies
seen
even
3 in
sometimes.
some decks. I'm like, damn,
Yeah,
they really want to be able to draw into one of those
yeah. I think
Gaias, because then you can go right into you play that, you get your Gaia, and then you can go right into your skill, and then you're going.
I think honestly, so what are the starters for this deck? Like, how do you get your deck going? You got your 3 you got your 3 Gaia Magical Knight, right? So and then 3 Curse because that also gets you to your Gaia. So you have 6 cards, and then if you have your Gateway, that's
And if you're playing it up to
8,
3, that's like 9.
9 cards. Like you don't
Right.
really need 9 starters. I mean,
That's
you do want a
crazy, yeah.
consistent deck, but like it is very consistent already.
So
So
if we see 9 starters, are we seeing a 30 card version, you think? Because sometimes we see that,
honestly,
right? If you got like
yeah, you
9
do see,
starters, why not, right?
yeah, you can kind of expand the deck count. But yeah, you want to be drawing your techs for certain matchups. Okay,
Mhm.
so what is the bottom line for this deck?
Well, I was going to ask you
I
with some of the matchups, is
right.
it able to stand up toe to toe with some of them? We can do them quick, but like Harpies, did you see him play Harpies today?
Yeah, Harpies. I think Harpies is a pretty hard matchup for them, honestly. The Cyber Slash is very, very annoying for that deck to deal with because, like I said, any form of interruption is going to be really, really devastating. So, the fact that they can like Book of Moon and then also like do other things to your cards, or even Swallow's Nest and then get your guy out of there, and then yeah, it's just you're going to be having a bad time.
All right. How about Resonators?
So for Resonators, that's an interesting matchup because they don't honestly do a lot. The turn 1 is really lackluster, but they do. You've seen builds with Scolding and Book of Moon and MST, so that is
They
extremely
can put in some
annoying
work
for
if
the
they
deck.
have
Yeah.
to. So probably a
Yes.
50-50 maybe.
I'd say It really depends on who's going first in that matchup.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Did you see any automats today?
Onomats. I don't think I saw any Gaia versus Onomats, but I'd imagine it's pretty coin flippy here
Okay,
too.
yeah. Who can get set up
Obviously, if
first?
but yeah, because the thing is, this Onomat deck has access to Gagaga Wind, and
Hmm.
that card is really really strong because even if they pop, your sister or your Onomatopoeia or your Zubaba Bancho, you have a little extender already like built in to your deck, so you
Hmm.
can keep playing. So they have to be really careful with what they pop.
Did you see it play against Water Deck at all or anything like that?
The water deck, I don't think I
Because
saw it
that
play
seems
against
like a
the
hard
water
deck
deck.
for a lot of people to play through now with the
Yeah.
meta the way it is
Oh,
with all
that's
the
the other thing
background.
where it's like, they have access to the dweller and then the infantry pop. You're gonna have to draw, book or chalice because it's just rough. Honestly, just getting your guy interrupted in this deck is really devastating. As you
Hmm.
know, it is in any deck. That's an argument. It's not really a fair argument. Like, oh, if you get Kanadi, you're gonna get really bones. But in this deck specifically, you don't really have more ways to keep going. So like, if they stop you, they actually stop you. Like that's just gonna be
I would think
the
this deck would have a really hard time with Fire Kings.
Yes, because of course the pop doesn't really do that much in that matchup. Of course, they're just gonna keep floating and blowing up your
And
guys.
if they got just a ton of hand traps, you're not gonna be able to OTK them.
Well, the Galloping Gaia, it's gonna prevent them from
Oh,
activating the
right,
hand
right, right.
traps.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah. So
but
you'd
the
have to kill them
Garunix,
off. Yeah.
the Garunix is what's gonna be annoying for you because it is 27 and all your guys are 26. So you need, just that little.
Well, sometimes we'll see the one Garunix on the field. They could come out and pop it. Are they able to OTK then?
Yes, especially because most of their hand is going to be hand traps. They're not going to have access to any defensive cards. So, yeah,
Maybe it won't be so bad
right.
if they get the right scenario.
Yeah. So, I mean, like overall, right now, the deck is definitely a cog worthy deck. But honestly, I'd say it's worth the purchase because it's just it's pretty cheap and the techs are really flexible.
Hmm.
So you get most of the deck like ready to go. Your main strategy is going to be you need 3 Magical Knights, 3 Curse, and then the 3 Fusion Magical Knight, and then from there you can just play what you have. So
Yeah, and the Origin's
uh,
just a ticket, which you can get with a ticket. It was an
yeah,
event card. Now
exactly.
you can get it with a ticket. So
Right, right. So for me, I'd say it's definitely if you if you got some money burning in your pockets, I'd say it's as most of the EX structure decks are, it's worth it just if you want something new. You don't want to go into a box, 3 times. You got
right,
something to play right here. If you are a budget player, somebody that's you don't want to be spending like tons of money every month, or if you're free to play, this obviously isn't going to be the deck for you. So
well,
sorry about
what
that,
I
but
was I wanted to ask you because we always see these videos, and there's someone that always tries it. The 1X structure deck is. What do you think of that with this? Because I'm sure there's already a video out. 1X Galloping Gaia destroys the meta. You think it's
so
possible?
let's think about it. I don't
Like
know.
I
I
think
mean, you do have the consistency skill, right? So, I mean, you do have that going for you, but
right, and if you have like Gateway to Chaos, is that pretty easy to obtain? Let me check here.
no, it's not. It's not.
It's in a box, structure deck,
Yeah.
structure deck. So no, but I mean, there's pieces where you could probably draw into your combo, but it just wouldn't be super consistent, right?
Yeah, no, you definitely want it to be consistent. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like a lot of those videos are just like honestly like new player bait or just trying to get clicks. It's all right though because those people it's not always about being competitive. If you want to have fun,
Right.
that's you're well within your right to have fun.
Well, of
But
course, but yeah,
I
one
think
X. Yeah,
there's better things to invest those gems into.
exactly. So yeah, if you want to have fun, go for it, but don't be like, "What? This deck isn't clapping like it did in that video."
Yeah. Because they're also hand picking out
Right.
all the replays that they win. They're like, oh yeah, I totally just destroyed resonators with my free to play Gaia deck.
Right. Well, I picked up the deck and I played on the ladder with it last night. It's a lot of fun to play. I think.
Oh no, but it is really fun. It
Yeah.
is definitely really fun. Like I said, if you guys can afford it, it's definitely worth it because there's not really a set this is the definitive list. If you don't have Book of Moons, that's fine. If you don't have MSTs, that's fine. You're just playing what you got.
I'd like to see, like, let's say like a month from now, if it's still around, and what kind of back row and what people have figured out, because there's gonna be some kind of synergy we haven't thought of yet, where it's like, oh, some card from 2 years ago like fits perfect in this deck, and it adds so much like ability to the deck or something. So I want to see where it is in about a month. Hopefully it's still around
Yeah.
in a month, because I think this meta is great right now, where there's a lot of decks and none of them are like super powerful. They just have like one thing they do really well, right? And then
Right.
everybody's just battling it out, and I think it's great. So I hope Gaia is just another addition to that meta.
Yush. So overall, I'd say it can go toe to toe, but don't be surprised if you're getting obliterated in some games. It's
Right.
just
Yeah, it's not going to be oppressive, but you can get some wins, but then some people are going to get some wins on you. Like a lot of the decks, like when you see people
right.
play against like resonators, you can get some wins, but people are going to get some wins against you too. Same with the Stardust deck, all those. It's like they can win, but they can lose, and I kind of like how Konami's introducing these decks that are like that, where they're not like super oppressive, like stick and chair Dark Lords. Remember? I mean, it was just like, oh, how do I even like find a way in to start dismantling this deck? Whereas
Right.
now it's just like,
This deck's
hey,
a lot more simpler. What you got your Magical Knight, you summon your dragon, you fuse, you get a pop, and then sometimes maybe you go to big mode, monkey swing into your opponent.
right. And if as you're playing against it, you kind of know what it's going to do. It doesn't feel oppressive. I think all the decks are really fun to play against now, and I think this is a good addition to those decks.
Right. And then of course, the last thing I want to talk about is just
Yes.
the addition of a box to maybe help this deck out just a tiny bit more. We've seen that a lot of times with a
Mm-hmm.
ton of the EX structure decks.
Yeah,
We've
you
seen
get
it
get a
with
little bit of
the
support. Yeah.
with the blue eyes. Back in the day.
Noble
Um,
Knights.
yeah, Luna Lights. No, wait, what'd you say? I'm sorry. I totally. You
Noble
said Luna
Knights.
Lights. Oh, Noble
Noble
Lights. I was
Knights.
like Luna Lights. I was like, what? They got
We
a
need
structure
Luna
deck.
Light
Yeah.
support.
Yeah, we do. They actually have a ton of them. But anyways, I'm getting off topic. Yeah. So hopefully we get a little bit more support. A lot of people were looking forward to the fusion spell. I don't know if that is
Probably
it
not. It sounds
exactly.
like it'd be
Yeah.
extremely busted.
Yeah, I'm hoping honestly. I know this is like really random, but I wanted some Blackluster Soldier support. So Konami plays Super Soldier one time.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know if you knew the circus, but Gaia the Fierce Knight is actually Blackluster Soldier.
What?
Yes.
That's not
It's true.
true.
It's
Gaia the
so true.
Fierce Knight is Blackluster
Yes.
Soldier.
Yes, it is so true.
I learn something new every day.
There you go.
But you know what I'm going to put in the title of this video? Gaia discussion and Luna Light future support discussion, because you did bring it up for
Yo,
5 seconds. So
true.
because how many people are going to be excited about that?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm going to make
Yeah,
sure
it's
to put
gonna
that
be
in the title of
crazy.
the video. All right, guys. Let us know what you think so far of the deck in the comments below. Are you having fun? Are you going to try it in a tournament? Or are you just passing on it altogether? Let us know what you think. And make sure to get in our Discord because it's free. The tournaments are free and the new player help is free. PDS's opinion is always free. So make sure to get that just by typing in the chat at PDS, and then just make sure to ask him any question you want in the Discord. All right?
True.
All right. We're going to get out of here. I'm Circus. That's PDS.
Peace out, boys.
We'll see you next time.